Right guys, here we go. Here's the guitar all ready for priming. Just using like primer from came from a car supply shop. Just a standard grey primer. Just remember, always use a suitable mask when you're using the spray paints. You don't want any of this stuff down your lungs. So here we go. I'm doing this outside because obviously you can do it in a ventilated area. It's a lot better than in a confined space. Basically we're only looking for nice thin even coats. Spray too close or too much on at any one time, you're going to start getting all runs and all sorts of things, and then you're going to spend forever sanding down. So if you can avoid that, it's going to be better. So I'll just leave this a few minutes now, and then I'll come back and give it another coat. So I've given this a couple of coats of primer. I did one off camera. No point in just watching the same thing several times. I did come across a couple of slight issues where I just examining it after the second lot prime. The main one being this little area there behind the neck, which if you can see that, there's a nice little crack in that. Didn't notice that before the primer went on. So I need to do something with that. And there was one other little mark somewhere which I came across, which I shall have to sort out. But in general, reasonably pleased with the finish so far. Oh, that's the other little mark. Not sure if you can see that on the camera, but there we go. Something and nothing, but I'll sort that out before I put any more primer on. So just mixed up a little bit of car body filler, which I'm going to attempt to sort this little crack out. See if I can get that in the picture a little bit better for you. Probably better off that way up. I'm just going to give this a little scuff over with some 400 grit wet and dry before I go on with another coat. Keep it nice, keep everything nice and smooth between coats, and this also provides a little bit of a key now for the next coat of primer. Just doing the the previous painted areas, just very lightly, just while the body filler's setting. Okay, so it's looking pretty good now. I'll just give this filler a few more minutes to set before I can rub it down, and then we'll get on with another coat of primer. So these areas are all sanded down now. The neck area where the crack was, and just one or two other little areas on the body which I thought needed a little bit more work on. So I'll clean this off now once again with the surface wipes, and then we can go ahead and reprime those little areas and get a full coat on everywhere. I'll do that off camera, and then I'll bring it back in and bring it back in and show you the results when it's finally when the primer's finally finished. There we go. So this has now had the body filler put on and resanded, primed, a little bit more body filler in places where I felt it needed it, and then primed again. So I think it's to the stage where it's had enough primer ready for a top coat. So before I do that, just feeling at the surface, it does feel a little unsmooth in places, so I'm just going to give it a quick rub over with some 800, which will just give it a bit of a key and a bit of a smooth off for when the top coat goes on. I'm not particularly wanting to sand it as such for just scuffing it a little bit and getting it smooth, ready for the gloss to go on. So I'm only doing this quite lightly. I don't want to make any sort of deep scratches, because it may just show through the gloss paint when that goes on. So I'm doing this reasonably gently. You're just causing a little bit of a key for the paint to stick to. And obviously, like I say, just smoothing it off nicely. Cover everywhere that's just turn it over. That's the area where the crack was before. There's a very slight crack radiating from there, which I can see now. But the guitar is 17 years old, so I don't expect to get rid of every little blemish, but Well, that seems pretty good. And once again, before I put any more paint on, just going to give it a wipe over with these with the paint preparation wipes. Yeah, apparently it gets rid of all contaminants, which means dust, grease, and whatever else may be on there, probably anything that comes off your hands. It doesn't take long for this to dry, so pretty much get on with the painting within a few minutes. There we go. Do have a little bit of the black showing through just there on that little corner. Probably just over sanded it a little bit, but like I said, it's getting finished in black, so it shouldn't be a problem. So we're ready to go with the black gloss. If anybody's interested, it's the BMW black from Halfords. It's kind of nice shape. And away we'll go. Want to keep this fairly thin coat. It's best to put several thin coats on and not get things too thick, or the paint will start to run everywhere. So nice and easy, nice thin coats, and do it several times. So this is at about 15 minutes now. Okay, so this has had a full can of spray on now. I can't do any more because I've no spray left. So this is basically what it is now. Picked up on the tools. Specks of dust. So here we go with the clear lacquer.
Oh, just put them towels off that chair to prove at banister.
Excuse me, I'm recording, woman. Okay, so this has had a full can of spray on now. I can't do any more because I've no spray left. So this is basically what it is now. Picked up on the tools. Specks of dust. So here we go with the clear lacquer. So this has had a few days to harden off a little bit, this lacquer. So I'm going to start sanding it down now. Starting off with an 800 grit, wet and dry. Work through to 1200, 1500 and 2500, and then at the end use some car body T-cut just to go over it, and then a wax and a polish at the end. So I'm going to make a start on that. Basically just nice circular motions. Not too much pressure, just basically trying to take off the any roughness in the shellac. Oh, sorry. Just trying to take off any roughness in the lacquer.
can generally feel as you start sanding, you can probably hear it as well, it's quite sort of noisy at first and feels a bit rough, but then as you take some of that top surface off, it quietens down a little bit, feels smoother. Try not to go too heavy near the edges. It's quite easy to go through the paint and take the paint off the edges. Not that I've had a great deal of experience in this, but YouTube is a wonderful thing for learning. So again, I'm not going too rash with the higher grit paper. Just basically taking it off so it smooths it out a little bit. Rub it all over and nice and light on the edges. I've noticed one or two little areas where I thought I'd prepared it pretty well. Now I've got the paint on it. See one or two little dips where probably I've either not got enough filler on it or just missed it basically as I've gone round. But I'm hoping. When I was lacquering it, I did put a bit of extra thick lacquer on these places that I could see, particularly on the front. Didn't bother too much on the back, but I'm hoping I'm not going to go through. If I can take this down, I'm hoping I'm not going to take too much of the lacquer off and go through to the paint and then the primer, and hopefully I can still get these little areas flat at the same time. So I need to be a bit careful on those areas that I only go through to the very minimum that I need to do, just to get those little areas out from there, which seems to be doing the trick. It's very nearly gone. Yeah, that looks a bit better there. Give everything a good check over once I've gone through with this first sanding. See if I can see any more little areas that need it before continuing. This is my sort of second project. I didn't want to start doing the Squire, really. I know it's not a top end guitar, but it was in quite, the body was in quite bad nick, and I didn't want to just go ahead and start a project on something. It's probably, you know, I'm doing it to keep it at the end of the day. So I wanted to try and get it reasonably right. So I did undertake another project first, in order that I could learn a few lessons and what have you. I don't know if I've mentioned that in earlier videos, but basically, if you do want to see the first project that I did, it's probably been posted prior to this one. So if you want to see it and you'd like to subscribe and press the like button if you like the video, and press the bell icon, and then if I post any more, you should be notified via YouTube. So that's if you're enjoying this, and you'll be able to see the first project bit I did and see some other mistakes that I made along the way, and then hoping this one's going to be a little bit better and not as many mistakes. Chaps, we'll do the rest off camera now and continue do this to the whole body, and then I'll come back where I'll do this to the whole body, and then I'll go through the grades of sandpaper and of the grades of wet and dry, and then come back to you at the end and show you where we are before I get to the stage where I polish it up. So thanks for watching this little section, and we'll see you soon. So this is the Squire body. Got to a stage where it's been lacquered and sanded. So started off with the 400, 800, 1200, 1500, 2000, 2500. Once I'd done that, went over it with some tea-cut, basically from your car shop, a couple of times, and then I've gone on with one coat of wax up to press. Now it's not looking too bad, it's coming out fairly decent. This is a sort of a second coat of wax which I've just put on there, which I'm just going to buff off now. There, looking at it closely, there is a few swirls and what have you in it, where I think with the black paint, it's one of those things that you're probably always going to get. But this is all done by hand. I don't have a buffing machine or anything, so I'm probably limited at the moment to what actually quality I can get without spending hours and hours going over it, time and time again. So that's yeah. I dare say it could be better. Looking at it closely, that are quite a lot of swirls and what have you in it from the sandpaper. Don't know whether I should have just gone over with the tea-cut even more before going on with the wax. Maybe, possibly not. I'm not sure. Could try it, but I'll just see. Initially, now I'll just put a few coats of wax on it and see how it comes up. First of all, may get some more improvement the more wax that I get onto this. So this is a mould release wax that I'm using. It's all I have at the moment, but possibly some furniture polish type of thing, or some car polish, because at the end of the day this is car paint, so car polish will maybe bring it up a little bit better again than it is at the moment. Compared with how it was when I started, it's a definite improvement. There's a lot of dings in it. If you look back on some of the first videos for this project, depending on, I'm not sure how many there'll be, it's not edited or anything yet, or uploaded, so it might be one long one, two half size ones, or 4/4 length ones. I don't know as yet, but if you look back when this first started, I'll try and put some photographs on at the beginning as well. I'm pretty happy with how it is, even if it's not sort of 100% factory quality, which obviously doing this at home I'd be lucky to get anyway. But if I can get it to a stage that I'm happy with, that's all that matters really, because it's probably only me that's going to be using it. It's not. I'm not doing it to sell it on or anything like that. So I do have a Strat, which is a Sunburst original Strat, which is tucked up away in its case, and I just wanted something that I can sort of use to practice or play, that I can leave knocking about just to pick up as and when, rather than delving into the case and all that, breaking the good one out, so to speak. So it is the one I've got. I think it's a 1983 contemporary Strat with the Floyd Rose. I think it's a shallow type one system that I have on it, tremolo. So yeah, knocking on. I think it's nearly 30 years old now, so one or two little dings in it, hence why I'd rather not be getting it out too much and putting any more in. Right, this should do me nicely. I've always fancied the black sort of the black colour. This one came with a white scratch plate, pick guard, whichever you want to call it, and I'm going to change this out for black and put some gold hardware on it. So I think when it's done, it might look quite nice. I've always fancied sort of that colouring, because years and years ago when I was young and just, you know, as a guitar player, I was sort of a shadows type of person when I was sort of learning, and went to see the Shadows at the Wakefield Theatre Club many years ago, and I got signed an autograph, what they call it, what's the word I'm looking for, the booklet that you get when you go to concerts and things. So basically I managed to get that autographed by Mr. Marvin. I think possibly I'd have to check on that, but I think Bruce Welsh as well actually signed it. So and on the cover, I think this is the sort of guitar he was playing at the time. So gold hardware, black with the only difference with this was, I think the one that I wanted to model it on was a maple fretboard, which I would have liked. I did order a maple fretboard, but it's a little bit too small for this body. So at some point I may change it, but I think at the moment the rosewood fretboard's going to go back on, unless I come across something before I put this together, which is probably going to be unlikely, because I want to try and get this done soon. So yeah, if I can get it something like that, I'll be reasonably happy. Wasn't sure whether to bother doing the sort of refurb of this. I didn't know if it was worth the effort, but once I'd done the first project, it was more of a tester for this. While I was waiting for parts of that, I thought, well, why not just get on with it, and while you're waiting for your paint to dry on the other one, just make a start on this one, and hopefully it will be there soon and looking a lot better for it. I'm just going to put a few more coats of wax on and see where we are. So I'll do the rest off camera, and and then we'll have a look at it again shortly and